Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. Much love and empowerment going out to the empowered harmonizers. I really hope that you are following through on a lot of the exercises and discussions that we have been putting forth as tools here. And before we get started, I want to give a huge shout out to those of you who have stepped up, amped up your game, and made a contribution and donation to the channel. Thank you so much for your rise up to your commitment in yourself and realizing that there's new values for you to focus on. And it's such an honor and a privilege to be able to put forth this information. And your donations let me know that we're fulfilling a need and that we're really hitting on some cylinders here. And that's the whole goal of some results, is to have you become better informed and understand some very confusing and difficult and bewildering emotional states that you can enter into or find yourself in once you've been in a relationship with an emotionally manipulative individual like a narcissist or even like a psychopath, someone who has antisocial personality disorder or tendencies. And it's very difficult to pull yourself up, especially, if you've been going through this for a specific period of time. The longer you might be embedded in it and kind of stewed in it, it's very difficult to claw and scratch your way out because it becomes such a repeated feeling to want to keep in that sameness, to keep trying to please people or keep, getting this person to come to terms and resolve things with you and have some sort of closure or move on and discuss it with someone who is manipulative. But when you have really sort of reinforced those patterns and it continues to bring you unhappiness, or you're finding that the skills that society is putting out there for you, all the Instagram, all the Tinders, all the tweets, all the images that society puts there out for you for what you are to be like or what a relationship is supposed to be like. It is like they teach you the skills of stress and they don't teach you the skills of relaxation. The society, especially now in the information age, it teaches you how to be so busy or hyper-stimulated that you can't really think for yourself. And really that's how it reinforces these toxic, negative emotional relationships, is because it is reinforcing that busyness. And I really want to congratulate you, those people, especially who have donated and who have actually gone and started writing in their recovery journal and their recovery schedule, the recovery notebook, as well as the schedule and appointment book. If you have not gotten yourself a pen and paper and an appointment book that has, the days of the week and the months of the year, I would highly recommend it. Getting yourself an appointment book, a day minder, something where you can write in appointments. Peace and Harmony, I don't have any appointments. Well, that's probably just the problem. You need to get some structure and make some appointments with yourself, for yourself, get things structured and get them in. And and I discuss this in the book that I'm developing, your recovery date, your recovery gift, your emotements, times that are set aside for you to develop the skills of healing. Because society teaches us how to be busy. The human race. We are human beings. When you think of the human race, you think of stress. You think of trying to beat another. And this becomes really the components of consumerism and greed and competition and comparison and judgment. And this really is the root of a lot of the unhappiness. And when you find yourself stuck in a relationship where you're not getting the results that you want, or this person, you're finding that you've become open to and subjected to a tremendous amount of bullying or emotional manipulation, boundary violation. You don't know how to erect your boundaries, raise your standards, have the tools or the articulation or the globbles and diphthongs on your tongue to say no when it's time to say no, stop when it's time to say stop, and really, get out of that circuit and that repetition compulsion of being angry all the time, of being depressed, of being unfocused, of being unhappy. Society does not teach you. Slowly, gradually, we're getting into a shift there. You really because the information age, we have access to so much more information, and people who are rising up for good and appreciation and protection of themselves, protection of the good, protection of humanity, protection of Mother Earth, rather than living in squander, rather than living in mediocrity, rather than living in oppression, and all that goes with the narcissistic and psychopathic structures, which you can see on a microcosm on relationship basis or family basis, but really moving larger into really what you see at workplace, corporations, cultures at large, where narcissistic or psychopathic values are espoused, they are promoted, they are glorified. And we can see this all around, and it creates so many issues, and people don't know what to grab onto, and you really need to grab onto yourself and regain your innocence. And really, that's what I want to zoom in and focus in on, are the skills and tools of happiness, of relaxation. We don't oftentimes, it sounds so simple, but oftentimes the most simple things are the most powerful. They are the most profound. And it seems so simple that it's right there within your reach, but you can't trust. You can't have that buoyancy. You can't have that sort of floating feeling that comes with finding your peace. And when I talk about learning the skills of happiness, learning the skills of relaxation, of peace, of happiness, of contentment, of peace and harmony, these are the skills that we really need to hunt down, look for, embrace, and really nurture and reinforce on a daily basis. And it's absolutely amazing what this will do, but it's very important because it's a very personal, private journey, and society does not promote it. Society does not validate it. Society validates having the biggest car, with all the gadgets, with all the family, with the oversized vehicle, and emitting a lot of CO2 into the atmosphere. It's the biggest house. It's what you're up against. I mean, you see the Instagram feeds, you see all the star power out there in their bathing suits, the guys, with their mini shorts. I mean, all this is what society and the Matrix, what it's just feeding your senses of what they're telling you you should be happy about. In other words, the car should make you happy. The big family, this should make you happy. This and this house should make you happy. This profession, this title should make you happy. They're telling you what's making happy, but you don't ever get a chance to look within unless you've really done this work earlier. But oftentimes we're not encouraged to actually embrace that or find the skills and tools to be able to do that. You hear about the people who are overworked. They're in relationships with people who are emotionally manipulative. They're working in workplaces where they are being emotionally manipulated. They're working in a scatterbrained or fear-based model where they're always worried that they can't meet their deadline, they can't meet their quota, they can't please their boss, they can't, everything becomes so complicated, and society and people begin running on the hormones of stress, and this breaks you down, and it perpetuates those sort of narcissistic, that external locus of control, of focus in relationships. And it's the skills of busyness, it's the skills of stress which are promoted. And so we really need to de-identify and separate from that for a moment and really let go of that and begin to look at and embrace the skills of happiness, which is relaxation. It's getting back to your innocence. But I don't have any innocence, peace, and harmony. I don't have any time to relax. I'm too troubled. I'm too down. I'm too stressed. I'm too anxious. I can't find that. I've never been innocent. I've had this all my life. I've heard the excuses, and I understand that. But once you let go of that repetition compulsion, of that inner voice, which is you have learned to feel. Once you identify that and say, okay, that is a learned negative viewpoint and feeling that I have rehearsed and memorized and been reinforced for so long that that feels like my normal. So what I'm challenging you to do is to learn the skills of radical action. Radical meaning extreme against to the negativity, the depression, the anxiety, the wrong relationships for the wrong reasons, opening yourself, not knowing how to protect yourself. Let's stop that repetition compulsion now, and let's learn the skills of happiness. Happiness is a chronic, sort of ongoing state of being content, of being a slight feeling of optimism. It's being living in the solution. It's living in a feeling of buoyancy. And if you understand that around your body you have 8 feet of energy that is emanating from your heart, and that is really where all this sort of begins to generate, is in the heart area. And it sounds so simple, like the Beatles, all you need is love, love. That simple statement that, they made a billions of albums, Girls Faint. I mean, they were, the rock band of the 60s. Everybody knows the Beatles. They were so simple, and that's really what made people get so excited, is that they didn't say all you need is love and hunger and anger and faith and trust and anxiety and depression and challenge. I mean, they made it simple. They didn't, put in all this chaos and all this confusion. It could be easily and clearly understood. So the skills of happiness are the same way. Let go of trying to grab onto the chaos. Let go of trying to grab onto what is familiar. Let go with hanging on to the concern and the fear. Let go of it. And allow that 8 feet around you that is emanating from the heart source, allow that to move you. Allow the heart space, the 8 feet of positive energy around you, to move you. It is very important for you to get into this sort of I am moving forward state. Even if you have a disability, even if you have certain things that you're telling yourself, I can't do it, it's because that internal dialogue is keeping you there, is keeping you stuck. It's telling you no. And the only thing that is stopping you from happiness is you. The only thing that's stopping you from peace is you. The only thing that's stopping you and separating you from living your dreams is you. When you really get that, when you really understand it, look at something simple, like living in happiness, a state of contentment. Stop the negative voices. I'm not good enough. I don't have enough. I don't have the right shoes. I don't have the right pants. I don't have the right top. I don't have the right hat. I don't have the right. I mean, so, all these are excuses. All these are statements that you have been reinforced and memorized from society and those people around you. If you've found yourself in that matrix, let it go. Let it be. Let all that chaos be for the people who want to live in the fear, in the feeling of discontent and people pleasing, and let go of that and begin to say, I am open to change. I am open to living in peace and harmony. And I know that relaxation is the way to my personal abundance and my personal purpose. My life purpose is there in that relaxation. My personal life purpose is there in that peace. My life purpose is found in that complete state of relaxation and mindfulness where I can just be. I'm letting go of the race. I'm letting go of the human race. I'm letting go of that struggle and conflict, which is imbued and really matrixed in and squared in and boxed in, and I'm letting all that go. I'm letting go of that boxed feeling, and I'm now allowing the 8 feet circular in diameter to really fill me with peace, contentment, and my life energies. And once you allow this to be and allow it to move you, begin to just sit in it and begin to trust in this new energy. And if it feels different, if it feels scary, if it feels like you can't believe it, that's because you're exiting that matrix. You're exiting that fear. You're exiting the struggle and all the chaos that has brought you into the sort of heartless relationships that have caused that to repeat and allow you to be attracted to it. So what we want to do now is take our gaze off of it, take our instinct off of that fear, take our instinct and our third eye, which is really your pituitary gland, which has like the rods and cones just like your eyes do. You want to kind of activate that deeper part of you, which is like the subconscious, and just get it moving. And when you layer up these tools, when you layer up the recovery pages, which means just writing 3 pages, whatever comes to mind that spills forth, putting it on the paper. I really wish, all your feelings that come out, you'll begin to connect with that which is within. And these are the skills that you need to find that happiness and that contentment and that peace, and then that prosperity and that productivity, which comes from within, which is it is your own. And so, and getting back to that question of, but where is my innocence? Where can I find this? You can do this while you're going on a walk, and you can just repeat to yourself, and it really might even bring you to tears. I'm walking with peace and harmony today, and I am living in the present and walking in peace and harmony, and I love this feeling. I'm walking with peace and harmony, and I love this feeling, and I will look and observe upon all of the grandeur and magnificence that is around me. And I will take this gratitude and I will look through new eyes onto the world in peace and harmony. And I will begin to develop the appreciation of all that is around me, particularly that which is in nature and Mother Earth. I will look onto the healthy trees and how they're all individually designed. I'll look onto the individual animals and see how they work through their own life mechanisms. I will live and walk in peace and harmony now. And as you do this, as you take even a short walk, 10 or 15 minutes, peace and harmony, I don't think I can do it. You don't have to have matching shoes, socks, hat. I mean, if everything is not coordinated, perfect. Throw on whatever it is and begin to walk in this and just let it go. Let go of all that you have strived for, because sometimes the anxiety comes in wanting too much, and when you let go of the wants and you just be, that's when you're really learning the skills of healing. You're learning the skills of happiness. You're really generating and living in that heart space, which is a new energy for you. It's a new feeling, and it will always be with you once you kind of call it forth, but you need to evoke it. It's about it's not about using free will. It's allowing that energy just to kind of lift you. And you'll have a feeling of being uplifted when you are practicing these skills of allowing your body to relax, of becoming more observant and letting go of the judgment, and really turning off a lot of the noise, the inner chatter,